Let's ride a bike. Focus question. How do part of bicycle help together to make it move and stop? Part of a bicycle, like the brakes, help it stop because of the friction, and part of bicycle, like a wheel of it, make it drive by using friction. The chain of it, drivetrain, uh, make it move by use a pedal, and you pedal and it's go around the gear on the back and it's turn. That's how I make it move. Early bicycle. Today bicycles are complicated. They have gears, pulley, wheel, and axle and lever. Bike are designed for different surface. They're not fast and always comfortable. But bicycles are not always like this. Do you know that the first bike have no pedal? The rider had to straddle it and walk. It was called a walking machine. The, the velocipede came later. The front wheel had an axle attached to the pedal. The rider pushed on the pedal to make the axle and the wheel turn. Another name for this bike is a boom shaker. Its wooden wheel make it for a bumpy ride. The high wheel bike. A strange looking bike replaced the velocipede. It had a gigantic front wheel and a tiny rear wheel. This had called the high wheel bike. This was called the high wheel bike. It was hard to drive and dangerous too. The smallest bump could send rider flying head first onto the ground. Yet it was more popular than the velocipede. Why do people like it so much? The larger front wheel on the high wheel bike worked better than small wheel on the velocipede for each turn of the pedal. The larger wheel went farther. This made the high wheel bike faster than the velocipede. Riders could go farther at the same amount of work. When someone makes the object move, they are doing work. The drive chain make it go. Have you noticed that early bikes did not have chains? Many chains at that time were made of heavy metal. By the late 18th, stronger and lighter metal had been made. This lighter metal was used to make an improvement in the bicycle. The drive chain was created. The drive chain is a pulley system with a chain that wraps around the gear. The gear called sprocket has teeth to hold the chain and turn. The drive chain transfers energy from the pedal to the axle and the gear wheel. Here's how it works. The pedal turns the sprocket at the front of the drive chain. This large sprocket moves the chain. The chain moves a smaller sprocket connected to the rear axle. The rear axle rotates and back wheel turns. The whole bike rolls forward. A large sprocket is similar to the high wheel bike, large wheel. For every turn of a large sprocket, the gear sprocket turns faster because it's smaller. Lever range. A lever is a stiff pad that can turn around a point called fulcrum. A kickstand is a lever that props up the bike. A handbar is a lever that steers the bike. The pedal on the bike are also lever. The extra force gained by using a lever is called a lever range. Lever, gear, wheels, and axle work together to make a bicycle move. When a rider pedals, energy moves from the bike. It moves from the pedal to the front sprocket, to the chain, to the rear sprocket, and to the rear wheel. The rear wheel moves the bike, which also make the front wheel move using friction. A lever also controls a bike handbrake. When you squeeze the lever cable, pull the brake pad against the wheel, friction between the brake pad and the wheel stops the wheel. Friction is a force that builds up when two objects rub against each other. Friction not only stops a bike, it also helps it go. Bicycle tires are built to create friction. They grab the rider's surface. The contact between the surface and the wheel pushes the bike forward. Some part of the bike need to be very slippery. The pedal, chain, and the wheel must move easily. Oil reduce friction and make it easier to pedal. Bikes all around the world. Some bikes are built for speed. Other bikes are built to ride on rough road. Road bikes have thin, smooth tires. These tires create just the right amount of friction, just enough to move the bike forward without slowing it down. Mountain bike had fast tire and bumpy terrain. Thick terrain on the tire grip uneven surface for more friction. BMX bikes are used to platform track, so their wheels have absorbed shock without bending or breaking. Like cars, some bikes have shock absorber. They make a bumpy ride smoother. Wowza, the speed record for a bicycle on flat road behind a vehicle is about 268 km, 167 miles per hour. Get in Get it in gears. The drive chain on BMX bike and beach coaster are very simple. They usually only have one gear. Road bike have many gears to make riding easier. Suppose you are going downhill and it's get harder to pedal. Uphill and it's got harder to pedal. You can switch lower gear. It will help. It will be easier to pedal, but you must pedal faster to keep the same speed. Switching gear mean the bike use different size sprocket to drive the chain. Some bikes have 3 different size sprockets in the front and 7 different size sprockets in the back. This gives the bike 21 different gears. The rest is up to you. Be an engineer. Figure out how your bike really works by making gear. Ask your teacher for 2 gear templates. Use them to draw a large and small gear on a piece of the foam or cardboard. Carefully cut out the gear and pin them to the sheet of cardboard. Pin the gear in the center so they can rotate and so that the teeth are framing interlocking. Draw a dot on the top tooth of each gear. Work in teams. Slowly turn the large gear once all the way around while counting how much time the small gear turn all the way around. Record your result. Now design your own set of gear on a paper. Try to make the pair of gears in which of the smallest one turn exactly the number of times you want it to be when the larger gear turn once. Beyond the box, use the internet to research the kind of bicycle that riders use in the Tour de France or other bike race.